career now. Now, when it comes to corporate career, typically what happens? How do you start a corporate career? You apply to good number of positions, and then you feel lucky when you get selected in whatever position that you like, and then what happens? Then morning, evening, that whatever we do. That's how typical corporate career is all about. But let me tell you, there are certain individuals who really make it very distinct as compared to others in corporate career. So what are those 2 or 3 things they do differently which others don't do it?
Their enthusiasm, they do things differently.
Okay, enthusiasm. Anybody else?
The commitment towards the work.
Commitment towards the work.
Passionate.
Ethics, passion, attitude.
You don't get into the routine.
You don't get into the routine, you do something distinct. Okay, anybody else? Okay, how many of you are at least the batch which is just passing out, the senior most batch? How many of you are going to pursue corporate careers? Okay, I could see few hands being raised in the senior batch. The next batch, how many of you are going to pursue corporate career? Okay, I can see about 30 to 35 hands. Okay, so what is the guru mantra to be successful in corporate career? What is that guru mantra?
Never complain.
Huh?
Never complain.
Never complain.
There should be continuous improvement at every stage.
Continuous improvement at every stage.
Open to learning.
Open to learning. Boss is always right. Okay, let me just tell you how corporate careers are being shaped for those who want to pursue corporate career. See, there are different meanings you give it to different things. Somebody says you should have the passion, you should have commitment, dedication, hard work, do something distinct. All those things are there. I mean, you can define it in whichever manner. I have got only few things to say. One, the corporate careers, more often than not, the selection does not happen based on your aptitude. It largely happens based on your attitude. Okay. Now, it's very difficult to judge what kind of attitude you carry with you, because you're just starting a corporate career. You're just getting into some job somewhere. So typically when it comes to the first job of yours, your attitude is not known to anybody apart from your friends, I mean your batchmates. So it's very difficult to understand what kind of attitude you carry towards yourself, toward your friends, towards society, towards whatever it is. But typically after a few years of your corporate career, there are enough 360-degree available around you, which defines who you are. How good are you in handling a particular situation? How good are you in group dynamics? So many other things which actually define you as a typical character, what kind of attitude you carry towards work, towards life, towards friends, towards corporations. Various things actually is already imprinted around you. And that attitude actually makes you a particular individual, and that defines whether you are a person to be hired or not. Your degree does not matter beyond the first job wherever you get in. So initially, while you get selected based on various criteria, because there's hardly any personality, external personality of yours visible to external world. But mind you, after a few years, your personality is very much imprinted around the environment in which you live, in the environment in which you work, and that personality is going to define your success or going to define the kind of job that you are going to get. So if you are going to become a solo person, you will not get a good reference to be a manager. And I can go on and I'll talk about it, but I'm not here to talk about what kind of attitude you need to build. That's a separate issue. But I'm saying you, it's the attitude which determines your long-term success in any corporate career, and even in our other careers also. But since I'm right now focused on corporate career, I'll define about corporate career. It's attitude which determines who you are going to become rather than your aptitude or the academic background or whatever you have come with. So please be careful about what kind of attitude that you carry. And I believe having graduated from a university like this, which is blessed for the ethical values, for the right group dynamics, for the shared work culture, I am sure you would have imbibed a good amount of right values to build the right attitude towards for yourself. But let's now talk about it. Having got into a job, what makes you successful? And let's now distinguish a corporate career versus doing your own business. A corporate career versus doing your own business. Let's say you are being hired with one of the large corporation, and as an alternative you're working with your own family business, or you are creating your own business. There is one thing if you can take from your own family business to a corporate career, and this is how I define it. Ownership. The moment you feel you are owner, okay, your passion will get built in. You don't need any external motivation. You will be internally motivated to do things differently. You will be committed, you will be dedicated. So whether you want to become an owner of your business or not, even if you want to become a corporate professional, please keep in mind that if you have the desire to excel, just become owner of whatever you're doing or whatever is happening around you. The moment you are owner of that, because you will feel, as Guruji says, that the moment you embrace the whole world as your family, you become accountable for it. You feel responsible for it. So the moment you take ownership for more and more things around you, you obviously become far more responsible to it. So this corporate life is actually no different than what Guruji says. You feel ownership of the task, of the business, of the work around you, and you will be a very distinct individual in your corporate life. I can tell you that most students which walk into corporate career, they define the corporate career in terms of, give me the scope of my job, okay, what I am supposed to do. That's all fine. You need to know all that. But when you walk into your family business, do you say that marketing is my responsibility and not HR? I will sell it, but collection is not my responsibility. I'll walk into the work, but I will not put the lights off. That's the peon's job. You sit on the top of the peon's responsibility also just to make sure that he puts the lights off before the office is closed for the day. So what defines you as a successful corporate professional is ownership. Whatever job you are in, whatever organization you are in, whatever role you are in, own it. For that, if you have to come early, go late, work on weekends, while taking holidays, whether I should take holidays or not, whether I should take this particular day off or not, the moment you own it, your boss becomes redundant. Am I right? The moment you own it, the boss becomes redundant. All those managerial responsibility above you, they absolutely have got nothing to contribute to your success. You don't really look for those external motivations which actually makes you work hard, because you are so motivated internally because you have owned it. So please start taking ownership, whether you are getting the credit for it or not. And the moment you take ownership, you will be a very distinct individual. Now, this is not being called ownership in the corporate culture. This is typically called intrapreneurship. Have you heard this term? Entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Have you heard this term? This is what the intrapreneurship is all about. What is entrepreneurship? That you are an entrepreneur by nature, but you are working for an organization. So the moment we are able to create intrapreneur in an organization where people take responsibility for what they do, what they're supposed to do, they become a very distinct individual and they excel in corporate life. And let me tell you guys, those who are self-motivated, those who take ownership, they never have to find a job for themselves. People find them to get them a job. Now, do you want to be really looking for a job or you want somebody looking for you to give you the job? The choice is yours. And the moment you create the sense of entrepreneurship in you, you are being identified as a very distinct individual in whichever environment you work. And what happens? See, this is how forces work. So you're working for a small group of individuals in a small department in some role which has been given to you. And you are now entrepreneur by nature, where you have the sense of ownership and start working. Your boss will obviously notice you very distinctly. Your colleagues will also notice you. Whether they give you credit or not, that's a different thing. They might be pulling your leg all the times. They might at times be jealous of what you're doing. They might at times be telling you that why you're working so hard. Because of you, we are also not able to take weekends as rest. Whatever, something will happen to you. All those things. Even people outside the department will also have an observation on you. And then what happens? You create the circle of influence to define your attitude. See, let's just see how this happens. How will people get to know you that you should be hired for the next role? Not in the company, maybe in some other company, maybe in some other department, maybe in absolutely distinct role. The moment you establish yourself that you are a person who can be trusted for whatever is being given to you. This sense of ownership is what you need to keep in with you. What comes out of it is the delivery. The outcome, what comes out is that people will start believing in you and they will start giving you the task which they feel that you can very easily do because you don't need to be told to be done, while others have to be told what needs to be done. So this is what going to make you distinct corporate professional, and for that just have the sense of ownership or define the term intrapreneurship in whatever manner you want. That's the guru mantra of success. I can tell you, irrespective of which corporate career, what role you want to be in.